I'll be so annoyed if Yellowstone's future undoes Kayce's Season 5 ending. So please don't, Taylor Sheridan. If Taylor Sheridan undid the youngest sixth-generation Dutton's Yellowstone ending, it wouldn't serve Kayce's story or the epic saga. In the Yellowstone Season 5 finale, Kayce enacted his plan to sell the Dutton family's land to the Broken Rock tribe. As Kayce finalized the land deal with Thomas Rainwater and Mo Brings Plenty, Kayce proclaimed he was free. Kayce's freedom in Yellowstone was an exoneration for the character, who finally escaped the dangerous legacy the Dutton family had died protecting. While the Yellowstone screenwriter could undo Kayce's ending to continue Yellowstone, I sincerely hope he doesn't. During the outing, the Yellowstone Season 5 finale had a great ending for many characters, including Beth Dutton and Rip Wheeler, who moved on to a ranch in Dillon, Montana. The couple's story will continue in Beth and Rip's Yellowstone spinoff, but this sequel may complicate Kayce's happy ending. If Kayce's story continues, whether in Yellowstone Season 6 or another offshoot of the flagship series, it could be tempting to muddle Kayce's freedom, roping him back into the drama of his family's land and the fight that comes with maintaining it. While many found fault with the conclusion of Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 14, Kayce's ending was a great story that tied Sheridan's Yellowstone series to its prequels. A long list of deaths amassed protecting the Dutton Ranch marks the family tree with tragedy, but Kayce broke the curse by selling the land to Thomas Rainwater and the Broken Rock tribe. The decision freed Kayce from defending his family's legacy and followed through with his ancestor James Dutton's promise that the Dutton family would return the land to Montana's indigenous people in 7 generations. It looked like Yellowstone foreshadowed Kayce's death as he talked to Tate in the family graveyard. However, Kayce's stepping away from the ranch freed him from the cycle of death that plagued the Dutton family. Kayce's family had perished guarding their land for generations, including Lee Dutton's death in the Yellowstone premiere. With a background of studying American Indian representations in the media, I found Kayce's decision to restore the land to its indigenous stewards refreshing because it's an ending that Hollywood rarely gives us. While yes, we saw it coming, that was the point. Sheridan prophesied Yellowstone's ending in 1883. However, there are a few ways Kayce's story could continue after Yellowstone Season 5's ending, at least within the current landscape. If Beth and Rip's spinoff is forced to become Yellowstone Season 6 because of potential legal battles, then Kayce could rejoin his sister in continuing the flagship story. Alternatively, Kayce's story could continue alongside Thomas Rainwater and Mo Brings Plenty, either in a Yellowstone Season 6 that doesn't involve Beth and Rip, or in an offshoot of Yellowstone focused on the Broken Rock tribe. Regardless of how his story continues, Kayce's reemerging in Yellowstone could limit his newfound freedom. One way to continue Kayce's story alongside Beth and Rip requires the siblings to get thrust back into the Dutton family conflict. Likewise, if his story continues alongside the Broken Rock tribe, Kayce could be put back in the line of fire over the land. Regardless, Kayce's continuing story means he will likely be entangled in danger again, and I'm concerned that would undo his ending. At least if Kayce puts himself in danger for the sake of the people who now own the land, he will be fighting for something he fully believes in. One way to preserve Kayce's ending is to feature him in Beth and Rip's Yellowstone spinoff, with the characters focused on motivations outside their family's old battles. This setup would enable Kayce to be featured in Beth and Rip's story, and even embroiled in a new conflict without relinquishing his freedom. Kayce's freedom doesn't mean that he's free from harm. It means he's free from risking his life for his family's land. For Kayce's story to continue satisfyingly, any fight he engages in must speak to his newfound sense of peace and steer clear of rehashing fleshed-out range wars. The best-case scenario could be for Kayce to feature in Beth and Rip's spin-off, rather than any other continuation, since a limited role would allow Kayce Dutton's story to continue without changing his status quo. Therefore, one possible storyline is that Kayce isn't a frequent player in Beth and Rip's story since Dillon, Montana, where Beth and Rip bought their ranch, is far from East Camp. Kayce's Season 5 ending was a cathartic closing for many fans, so Taylor Sheridan, please don't undo the Yellowstone finale. The worst-case scenario would be Kayce finding himself entangled in his family's played-out drama. Taylor Sheridan, the mastermind behind Yellowstone, has gifted audiences with one of the most compelling character arcs in modern television through Kayce Dutton. As Season 5 concluded, Kayce's journey reached an emotional crescendo, a fragile, hard-fought balance of family, duty, and identity. The finale left fans with a sense of closure, albeit tinged with uncertainty. However, the mere thought of undoing this resolution in future seasons is infuriating. Let's dive into why dismantling Kayce's hard-earned peace would feel like a betrayal to the character, the audience, and the series itself. First, let's talk about what makes Kayce Dutton's arc so remarkable. From the very first episode, Kayce was established as a man torn between two worlds: the rugged traditions of the Dutton family and the spiritual connection to his wife, Monica's Native American heritage. This dichotomy fueled much of his internal and external conflict. Kayce's journey wasn't just about survival on the Yellowstone ranch, but also about reconciling these clashing aspects of his identity. Sheridan crafted Kayce as the emotional core of the series, grounding the sprawling, often chaotic narrative in a deeply human struggle. Season 5 brought Kayce's trials to a head. After years of grappling with his place in the Dutton family and his responsibilities as a husband and father, Kayce made a series of choices that reflected growth. He distanced himself from the toxic, power-hungry machinations of his father, John Dutton, and his sister, Beth. Instead, Kayce focused on what truly mattered: his wife, Monica, and their children. This shift was no small feat. It required Kayce to confront his demons, including the haunting visions he experienced during his spiritual journey in Season 4. By the end of Season 5, Kayce seemed to have found a semblance of peace, choosing family over the Dutton legacy. So why does the prospect of undoing this progress feel so aggravating? For one, it would cheapen the emotional investment viewers have made in Kayce's story. We've watched him endure unimaginable loss, navigate cultural complexities, and wrestle with loyalty to a family that often demanded more than he could give. Sheridan has masterfully depicted Kayce's evolution, allowing audiences to see him as more than just a cowboy or a Dutton. He's a man who's fought for his soul, and by Season 5's end, it felt like he'd won, or at least earned a reprieve. To undo this progress would be to undermine the authenticity that makes Yellowstone so compelling. Sheridan has built his reputation on creating characters that feel real, with arcs that reflect the messy, non-linear nature of life. Kayce's journey has been no exception. Reverting him to a state of turmoil or thrusting him back into the toxic orbit of the Dutton family would feel contrived, as if the show were spinning its wheels rather than moving forward. It would also risk alienating viewers who have come to see Kayce's arc as the emotional heart of the series. Another reason this potential undoing is so frustrating is that it would ignore the thematic richness of Kayce's resolution. Yellowstone has always been a show about legacy and the cost of protecting it. John Dutton's relentless pursuit of power has come at great expense, including the alienation of his children. Kayce's decision to prioritize his family over the ranch offered a pointed counterpoint to this narrative. It suggested that there's another way, a path that values love and connection over land and legacy. To undo this choice would be to undermine one of the show's most powerful messages. Of course, it's worth acknowledging that Sheridan is no stranger to subverting expectations. He's built Yellowstone on a foundation of unpredictability, with plot twists that often leave viewers reeling. But there's a fine line between surprising your audience and betraying their trust. Kayce's ending in Season 5 felt earned, the result of years of character development. To unravel it for the sake of drama would feel like a cheap ploy, rather than a natural progression of the story. So what should Sheridan do instead? The answer lies in exploring new challenges for Kayce that build on his growth, rather than erasing it. Conflict is essential to storytelling, but it doesn't always have to mean regression. For example, Kayce could face the difficulties of sustaining the balance he's achieved. Perhaps his commitment to family is tested by external forces, such as a new threat to the Yellowstone ranch or tensions within Monica's community. These challenges could provide fresh drama while respecting the integrity of Kayce's character.